Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome at the 9th edition of TKI Wind op Zee Live. Live from the Schiecentrale in Rotterdam, a former power plant. What an appropriate location today, and with a live audience. Welcome, everybody. A little applause for you. And of course, welcome at home. Great that you're watching. My name is Sophie van Hoytema, and I will be your host for the coming hour. So, today it's all about the Offshore Wind Innovators Award 2021. We have 2 awards that can be won today, and 3 parties that are nominated. And let me introduce our nominees that are here, of course, today. Welcome, and give them an applause. Welcome to Leo van der Bijl of GBM Works. And welcome to Pim Breukelman of Jungle. And our last nominee, welcome to Achilles Govias of SpectX. Great that you're here. A lot of suspension, little suspension there. Good suspension. So, there's a jury award and a public award to be given away today. And our nominees will pitch later on in this broadcast. And after that, it's up to you, our audience, live here, and of course, our audience at home, to cast your vote for the public award. And also, if you have any questions today, or remarks, or maybe you want to congratulate anyone today during this broadcast, please use the chat for that. And in case of questions, of course, we'll try to answer them during this broadcast, but if we don't, we'll definitely come back to you to answer those questions. First, I have 2 guests at my table, and I will introduce them to you. Welcome to Floris Blonk, Community and Innovation Manager at TKI Wind op Zee and Community Manager of Offshore Wind Innovators. A big title there is. Yeah. New face at TKI Wind op Zee you started in January. Are you enjoying your job?
Yes, actually I do. We did a lot of nice things the last month, a couple of challenges, so yeah. Good, I'm enjoying.
Interesting start, of course. Let me start by asking you what the Offshore Wind Innovators Award is.
Of course, it's a reward for innovators who are doing a good job in the energy transition. But actually, it's also an incentive from TKI Wind op Zee, because we really need those innovators to solve the challenges we have at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, so I have another guest at my table, Glenn Bijvoets. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glenn, you are not only chairman of the jury, a very important task, of course, but in daily life you are innovation leader at a power company, Eneco. What is the importance of innovation in the energy sector from the perspective of a major energy company?
I think innovation is very important for the energy transition to speed that up. We are definitely looking for all kind of innovation from incremental to radical. We need innovation in the whole value chain, so it is very important that we are innovative in this sector, in the offshore wind sector, especially last week when the government announced again to increase offshore wind in the Netherlands. So we definitely need those innovations to accomplish
more
all those targets.
Than ever.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. Of course, chairman of the jury, very important task. But you were not alone in judging the submissions, were you?
No, I was accompanied by Jasper Gezelschap, investment manager at Innovation Quarter, with a broad experience in the financing of innovation. And Peter Eese, an R&D manager at TNO Wind Energy, with also a broad expertise on all kind of innovation from a research perspective.
A very powerful trio, I think.
Definitely.
Floris, this special award for offshore wind innovators, it's part of a community, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. So if you see that in 2050 we want to have around 60 gigawatt of offshore wind, that's a big challenge. And within this challenge there are several sub-challenges. For example, we need to reduce the costs. Secondly, we need to integrate all those wind turbines in the North Sea. So imagine that's like 25% of the sea area, which will be used in 2050. So we need innovative solutions for that as well. And thirdly, if you have wind and the energy is produced when there's wind and not when there's demand, we need to solve these challenges as well. So that's why we need innovators. And what you see is that many times those innovations come from SMEs, the pioneers, and that's why we support this community.
Yeah, and what does the community offer to their members?
Actually, there are three main important things. Of course, funding. We don't have the funding ourselves. We are an organization who connects organizations and people. So we connect the innovators to subsidies from the government, but also to investors. Secondly, an innovator needs to have a customer. Within TKI Wind op Zee, we have connections, so we can connect the innovators to the major companies. And thirdly, yeah, indeed, very important. And thirdly, we are a platform. We have a social reach. We have other kind of reach, and so we also offer them publicity, which is also really important when you're a startup.
Clear, very clear. Glenn, you had the privilege of judging all these exciting entries, I think. What is the state of the innovative power in wind sector?
I think it was, again, a very high quality of entrants. It was a mix of all kind of companies. But what strikes me most, the companies were mostly in the field, working in the field in the area of data science. So I think it's obvious nowadays. There's a lot of to be gained with optimizing offshore wind, and data science can help. So that strikes me.
So high quality.
High quality again, very high quality. It was difficult to pick out the right winners. So a lot of discussions.
It's in here, isn't it?
It is in here.
Oh no, we're not going there yet. What level of innovations entered? So is it a very early stage or market ready?
Yeah, what I mentioned, it was a good mix of early stage and market ready. So with all kind of what they achieved in the last year. So it was a very good mix. So that was very positive, I think, and will help us.
Talking about that, because do you target, Floris, a specific type of innovation with this award?
Actually, we do not. But what you see in the past, that mostly innovations which are a bit further in their technology readiness are here in the pitching area. So that's maybe a trend. I don't know. It's mostly up to the jury to pick them out. Yeah.
Okay. So if you win this award, what does it do for the winners, winning it?
Of course, eternal fame. That's, I think, the most important one.
Yes.
Secondly, we also support the winning innovator with a workshop. So we discuss which challenge they have and how we can help them. And of course, thirdly, it's already on the table here. They have the big award which they can take home.
Yeah, well, that's of course something to be very proud of, I think.
Indeed.
And the exposure is also very nice.
That's indeed a very important one. Yeah. So we have a media team who will send out on all media channels that you're the winner. So you
very good.
Yeah.
Glenn, how important are such rewards for these entrepreneurs from your perspective?
I think it's very important because what Floris already mentioned, the exposure is very good. You get the exposure. Other companies like Eneco sees what's happening. Investment companies sees what's happening. So you get in the spotlight. So opportunities for investment, opportunity for testing, opportunity for clients. So I think it's really good that these kind of awards are there. Yeah.
It opens
helps.
up.
It opens up.
Let's talk a little bit more about this competition, because what criteria are there to select the nominees?
We've weighed and discussed three parts. One of these, how innovative is the idea and what's the impact, the feasibility of the innovation, of the technique or the solution, and how the entrepreneurship of the startup or the company, really how are the entrepreneurs doing it? Do they have the right spirit?
So, and we have three of the best sitting here. Thank you, Glenn, and we'll hear from you about the nominees later. Thank you, Floris. Let's keep the tension a little bit here, because we're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. We don't want to give it away too easily, I think, because before we continue with the pitches of the three nominees, we'll join our vlogger, Marcia, at an important hub for innovators. Innovators aren't working solemnly in their garages anymore, of course. Innovation hubs have proven to be a perfect ecosystem to help daring ideas develop into marketable solutions. So let's see what Marcia heard when she visited Kirsten Ruiter at Buccaneer Delft.
Are you looking for an inspiring working place, a great location for your event, or an amazing community? This is the spot. At Buccaneer Delft, networks become tangible and they are a great partner for offshore wind innovators. Let's have a look inside. Kirsten, we're here at Buccaneer Delft. I'm really curious, what is it exactly?
Well, what we do is we accelerate growth in the energy transition. So we help companies that have an innovation in either the energy or the maritime sector.
Oh, wow.
And we help them during a 3-year program to become an even more successful entrepreneur and to really boost their success.
And what does the 3-year program contain?
The companies that are located here are often seeking either coaches, funding, investors, or companies that can help them to launch their prototype in a real-life environment. Besides the strong partner network, we also have coaches from within the industry. So they have experienced both successes but also failures, and they can help out the Buccaneers with their personal experiences on what you should or shouldn't do. Because we focus on energy and maritime, we also see different collaborations exist between the companies that are housed here.
Are there any of the companies already collaborating?
Some of them actually do, in different phases, but we already have some successful collaborations of current Buccaneers.
Shall we go to them?
Yeah,
Great. Jan, you are one of the Buccaneers. What has being a Buccaneer brought you?
Well, of course, it's a great place to start a company, and we've been working here now for 5 years. It has given us a great network and a great opportunity to develop our technology. And also a great place to collaborate with our partners, for instance, the Flying Fish, which we have the water taxi project with.
Great, so it's a great way to start working here and collaborate with all the other Buccaneers.
Yes, it's a great place to be, and it's very representative, and we feel very at home here.
Johan, Jan already told us about your collaboration with ZEP. Can you tell us how it became so successful?
Yeah, definitely. Before we moved here, we also worked with them, but it was much harder, of course, to make the small talks and to see each other at the coffee. And now, if something pops up, we just walk into each other's offices and we say, "Hey, we saw this. Shall we go for it?"
Yeah. So being here together makes your collaboration way more successful.
Yeah, definitely.
So we just talked to a few of the Buccaneers, and can every startup find a place here at Buccaneer Delft, or do you screen on potential?
Yes, we screen on potential. Ideally, we are looking for companies that have a solution in the energy or maritime sector. Their innovation already is past the startup steps, so ideally there's a proof of concept that needs to be validated. We also think that our strength lies in that area, to get them in contact with the right industry partners, to get it validated in a relevant environment. And of course we're a community, so we also screen on people and if they would like to contribute to our community.
Yeah, of course, that's very important.
Yes.
Would you like to join the Accelerator program and become a Buccaneer? Check out the link below for more information.
So very interesting. I think this is, Floris, how do you look at these innovation hubs like Buccaneer?
Yeah, what you see is what we try to do with offshore wind innovators is making the connection, but we mostly do it digital. And what you see in this vlog is that being there, making the connection in a physical way, that it really supports successful innovation. So that's what I like about it.
It helps.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And Corona doesn't help then, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
It's good to be together again then. So thank you both. I think it's time to work a little bit towards the awards. And the 3 nominees will pitch their innovation. We'll talk a little bit about how we're going to do that. Can you tell us, Glenn, a little bit more about our nominees that are there for the award of 2021?
Definitely, I think I'm going to mention them in alphabetical order. There's no preference yet or any disclosure of who's going to win. The first one is GBM Works. GBM is a company that is developing a new way of installing offshore wind turbines. So that's very innovative, I think. The other one is Jungle, uses artificial intelligence to predict competent failure and poor performance in an advanced management system. And Aspect X, probably hope to pronounce it well, and autonomous inspection and asset management. So I'm very curious to their pictures.
Yeah, and we all are, I think. The nominees, of course, are here with us in the studio. Floris, how are we going to do this?
Yeah, of course, we need to give the floor to the guys. So they have 5 minutes to overwhelm the audience over here, us and the audience online. Then there's room for questions from us, but also from the audience online. And thirdly, I think that's also a really important one. You're able to vote using the Mentimeter, which will be explained later. And of course, then we will reward the winner with the award.
Yeah, so that's the public award, of course.
Yeah.
And then first, the jury will come somewhere first. But first we have to listen to the pitches. So we'll start the 5-minute pitches. Again, you said questions for our nominees can be asked via the chat, of course, or in the audience here, you can raise your hand. Very old-fashioned way. Of course, please do. Let's go over to the 3 finalists, and we'll start with the first pitch by GBM Works. Yeah, and while Leo van der Bijl, of course, of GBM Works is walking to his pitching table, I'm going to introduce you a little officially, okay? GBM Works working on the silent method of installing offshore wind turbines. You will tell us, Leo, why GBM Works should win the award, and I would say the floor is yours.
Thank you. To some of you, this might be a familiar sound. And the ones that know this sound know that it is really loud. And you can imagine that if you emit such a sound into the ocean, that the marine life that is in the close proximity actually is harmed by this. This sound is coming from the hammer in the picture. And this hammer is there to install an offshore wind foundation. What you can also see in this picture is an extra vessel. And the only purpose of this vessel is to blow up a bubble screen around this installation. And this bubble screen is there to block the sound to the marine life. So with the current installation method, there's 2 problems. 1, we are harming the marine life. And 2, we need expensive noise mitigation to overcome this problem. We as GBM want to solve this problem. And we do it in the following manner. We install a pile with a combination of a vibro hammer on top of the pile and a jetting tool at the bottom of the pile. And during the installation, we inject water that then travels upwards inside the pile. And as it traveled upwards, the water-sand mixture is actually fluidized. And with fluidized, I mean that it behaves like a liquid. And as it behaves like a liquid, we reduce the inside shaft friction to practically 0. The result of this is shown in the video on the left. This is a test that we performed at the Tweede Maasvlakte in very stiff sand. And what you can see is that the pile is installed easily. We call this solution the Vibrojet. Vibrations plus jetting, Vibrojet. And with this jetting system, we aim to drastically reduce the energy that is needed to install a pile. And with this reduction in energy, you also need less power to install a pile. And with this less power, you emit less CO2 into the atmosphere. You reduce the sound. And as you reduce the sound, you also don't need the expensive noise mitigation anymore. And therefore, you also reduce the cost of such an installation. And in these ways, we like to contribute to a faster energy transition. However, we're not there yet. In 2020, we performed our first onshore field test. This was at the Tweede Maasvlakte in very stiff sand. We installed a pile with a diameter of 1.2 meters and a length of 12 meters over 50 times. And during these tests, we looked into the comparison between an installation with only a vibratory hammer and an installation with a vibratory hammer plus jetting. And what we found is that if you include jetting, you increase your installation speed by 4 on average. And the same went for the refusal depth, which increased to 3 times deeper on average. These results were, of course, very promising. Therefore, in 2021, we increased the scale. We installed a pile of 2 meters diameter and 35 meters long from a barge in a nearshore environment. And during these tests, we carefully looked into the installation procedures that were necessary, and we developed our own control system. Therefore, we made our technology more mature. And then, looking in the future, in 2022, we aim to look into axial load tests and lateral load tests. And these will be performed at the Stresswave Conference and the CMOX project. And once we are confident that our piles can take the load, we will go offshore to a full-scale installation. This demonstration will happen in 2023. And then, once that is finished, we are ready to go commercial in 2025. And in 2025, we will install XL monopiles in an eco-friendly manner. However, we cannot do this alone. Therefore, we have our development partners, Deltares, DEME Offshore, Cape Holland, Shell, and Eneco. And together with them, we would like to reduce the impact on the marine life and make the sea a more peaceful and tranquil environment.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Leo from GBM Works. Give him an applause again, because we're the beautiful atmosphere of the sea. So thank you so much, Leo. Glenn, do you have a question for Leo?
Thank you, Sophie. Yes, I do have a question. I was wondering, is your solution defensible? How is your IP strategy on your technology?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
How defensible is your solution? So how is your IP strategy working?
Defensible?
Defensible of the technology. So how defensible is it? So,
like intellectual property.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm just in the industry, so I'm not familiar with the words sometimes. But the technology is patent pending. And of course, there is already a patent awarded. So yeah, in that sense, we hope to have it covered as much as possible. Besides that, the fluidization process is a difficult process if you want to control it very carefully and use the least amount of energy. We performed a lot of tests, we have a bunch of data, and therefore we are confident that we can do this in the most efficient way. And therefore it's harder to copy.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Yep. Floris, are there any questions online or in the audience? Yes? There is 1 second, because we have a beautiful lady with a microphone.
To hear why it takes so long to develop, I would have thought, well, I mean, of course, forgive my ignorance, but if it works on one pile, what are the challenges? Why do you need to have so many years of testing, so to say?
The offshore industry is a very conservative industry, so it's all about limiting the risks. And of course, when you develop a new technology, it has to work always 100% of the time. Otherwise, you're vulnerable, because if something breaks, then it costs a lot of money. And therefore, we'd like to get to the bottom of everything as soon as possible, and that takes time.
Thank you very much for your question. Thank you, Leo, for your answers. Good luck in a minute. And I would like to invite Pim Breukelman to give your pitch. Yes, it's time for our next nominee. Pim Breukelman of Jungle is going to convince us why their artificial intelligence that improves machine learning should win the award. Pim, go ahead.
Thank you. When I was looking at the news last night, I saw something really remarkable. On the beginning of March, or on the beginning of the spring, on the 21st of March, the temperature on the North Pole was 6 degrees Celsius, while normally it is minus 25 around this time of year. On the South Pole, it was minus 17, while normally it is minus 60. This means that the world needs renewable energy, and we need a lot of it. Around the world, there's already millions of people, and probably the people here in the audience as well, that are developing solutions, they're inventing technology, and we're developing and building projects that are aiming to develop and generate green power. But are we really doing enough? Over the past years, modern wind turbines, are equipped with lots of sensors. And all of these sensors are spitting out data, day and night. What are we doing with all this data? And do we really know what's going on? Over the past years, we've seen a growing gap between, on the one hand, the availability, or maybe let's call it the abundance of this data, and the ability of people to understand this data. And this is where Jungle comes in. We want to help the people that are responsible to optimize these offshore wind assets. We want to help them to do their jobs. And we want to do that by developing the best tools out there to help them conquer complexity. So let's step into the world of optimizing offshore wind farms. What are the challenges here? So the two things that cost the most money are, on the one hand, downtime, and on the other hand, underperformance. So this was the starting point of Jungle. We asked ourselves two really important questions. And that first question is, how do we know if any of the components in a wind turbine is going to fail in weeks or maybe even in months from now? How can we predict that? And the second question is, how do we know if all of our turbines are producing the amount of energy that they should? Are they really running optimally? And the good news is that we spent 4 years and we used state-of-the-art machine learning technology. But the good news is that we do have the question to these two answers. So what did we do? The first thing we did is we developed normality models. What are normality models? Normality models are AI-based models that use the historical data from a wind farm to learn its normal behavior. So for all of the sensors in the wind farm, for all of the components, for each and every turbine, the technology is capable of learning what their normal behavior, so what these sensors should be reading, under the given operating and ambient condition. So for all of the sensors in the farm, whether it is temperature, speed, rotation, pressure, everything is projected. And on the graph, on the top graph, that normality prediction is given in the gray band. The second thing we did is we developed a web application called Canopy. And in this web application, our users can compare these normality predictions with the actual behavior of their wind farms and of all of the sensors. If the sensor is exactly in the prediction, you will not get a signal. If the sensor is higher than the prediction, it will become red, and if it's lower, it's becoming blue. So in the top one, we can see that the power or the temperature in the generator is consistently higher than what the model is predicting. So this means that there is an ongoing failure, and addressing this is going to help you avoid downtime. The bottom one, we can see that, which is the power production, so we can see that the active power is blue, so it's below the prediction. So this means that there is an ongoing underperformance. And of course, addressing this leads to more power. So we deployed our technology to users in on and offshore wind, and we actually started to create value from day one. On average, our users are producing between 1% and 2% more energy with their wind farms. And 1% may not sound like a whole lot, but of course, in offshore wind, if this would be a 700 megawatt wind farm, 1% represents 200,000 euros every month. So summarizing, a team of 21 people spent 4 years to develop, test, and deploy a software product. We started creating value from day one. We're helping them to address their two most important questions, downtime and underperformance. So together, we're producing more energy and bringing down the cost of wind power.
Wow. Great. Another great pitch in perfect timing, Pim. Congratulations with that. Glenn, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just was wondering, who is your ideal customer? Who do you want to be as a customer?
That's an easy question. You are, of course.
Why we?
So we are looking for operators of large offshore wind farms, but also onshore wind farms. And Eneco has a lot of onshore and offshore wind farms, right? And even solar. So the technology is asset agnostic, so we can also scale to your solar assets.
Right, thank you. We'll talk
Also a
later.
great network opportunity here. I think we'll do that later.
It's energy companies, independent power producers. But the interesting thing is that we're also offering it to service providers. So there's the operators on the one hand and the asset owners, but the service providers, depending on the contract structure that they have in place, are also interested in tools that can help them to increase the performance of renewable assets.
Are there any questions in the audience? Yes, I have a question over here. There will be a microphone coming to you.
Seeing that you're looking into this system of the wind turbine, how is your relationship with the manufacturers?
Yeah, the relation with the manufacturers is, let's say, interesting. Most of the OEMs, they're developing these type of tools themselves as well. Of course, they are not as asset agnostic as we are. And given the fact that we're working for most of the asset owners, we really see that we're leveling the playing field between the owners and the OEMs. And so we're getting into quite some interesting discussions between the owners, where they're just spotting underperformances or they're spotting curtailments. And then they're getting on a call with the OEMs, and they said, hey, Jungle System, they spotted that this was ongoing. How can you solve it? And of course, that puts us in the position that we have to talk to the OEM as well, and when we're looking at the data. But the most interesting thing is that the OEMs by now, they know our product, and they also know that what we're predicting is usually true. So we're already seeing that they are starting to recognize and see what we're doing, and they're taking action that is required in order to push up the performance of the wind farm.
Great, thanks for your question. Thank you, Pim. Good luck to you too. And now it's time for our last pitch. Akhilesh, can I invite you to the pitching table? Well, Akhilesh Govias of SpectX, is going to pitch his innovation with aerial radiography, with synchronized drones and artificial intelligence. And he will tell us why they deserve the award. Akhilesh, take it away.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to pitch our technology. So SpectX is an autonomous aerial radiography inspection startup for difficult to access assets like offshore wind turbines. First of all, what is the challenge and why do we need this new type of inspection technique? Offshore wind farms are trending as an effective means of fighting climate change and transitioning into a low carbon economy. The turbines are not only getting bigger and bigger, but they're also being installed in deeper waters further away from the shore. Larger wind turbine blades also means that there is an increased likelihood in internal operational and manufacturing defects like delamination, debonding, voids, cracks, waviness, and this is a huge problem. Very often, by the time you can see a crack on the outside of the blade, the damage is already quite severe. Manual inspection by these skilled technicians on ropes is expensive, time-consuming, and a risky process as it involves dependencies on external weather conditions, crew transport, handling of heavy equipment, etc. The crew must go to these turbines to inspect them at installed sites on structures hundreds of feet tall and in potentially dangerous locations. There is also a steep decline in the number of O&M technicians and due to the inherent risks, and that's why there is a scope for inspection automation. Visual inspection by these skilled technicians or even by drones cannot detect the internal defects and can sometimes therefore raise false alarms. And that's why to have the maximum return on investment, we need to have a very accurate predictive maintenance system. To solve this, Spectex is working on a solution that is based on the pillars of 4 different technologies. We have first the aerial positioning and synchronization of 2 drones with respect to the inspection sample, that is the wind turbine blade in this case, with the portable X-ray source integrated on one drone and the digital detector on the other. Second of all, we have the active control or the robotic motion compensator system that is damping or suppressing the vibrations from these extreme turbulent offshore operating conditions. The third block is the aerial radiography, which is the control of the X-rays and the capturing of them behind the sample. And finally, the image enhancement and processing algorithms. So using our technology, autonomous non-destructive testing X-ray inspections can be performed. And this technology is designed to detect all the critical internal structural defects and is enhanced by artificial intelligence to aid in quick and efficient fault detection. So what this does is it removes the expensive dismantling of the blades, transportation to the workshop, inspection inside the X-ray bunkers, and reassembly, which can take up to 10 days, and then a lot of revenue is lost due to the downtime. So the advantage of our system is the quick detection or early detection of blade defects without human intervention. This data is then used to perform damage differentiation and also damage severity analysis by deep learning algorithms, which can then predict the internal structural health of the asset. Currently, we are developing the minimum viable product, and we plan to do our first offshore tests in the summer next year. Last year, we did a lot of feasibility tests proving the use case of this technology for composite material blades, and the technology is patent pending. So why should Spectex win this year's Offshore Wind Innovator Awards? By using autonomous drones, the need for human presence near radiation to perform non-destructive type of testings is completely eliminated, and this is making inspections safer. By using our innovative technology, complex industrial inspections can be performed in difficult-to-reach assets to scan for the internal structural defects. And finally, we believe that this technology also has a massive impact on various other industries, such as power distribution lines, railway overhead lines, and the pipeline industry, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Akhilesh. Glenn, do you have a question?
Yeah, what are your main challenges in the next year to conquer, to scale up your company?
Yeah, so one of our main challenges is to actually have the drones quite stable to remove the kind of noise in the X-ray image itself. So what we really need is a very accurate and advanced robotic motion compensator system to damp for these vibrations. And apart from this, we are also working on the post-processing, which is actually taking this data and then post-processing it. So one of the challenges is getting most of this old asset inspection data to train our models.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions in our live audience for Akhilesh? No questions? That's okay. Do you have another question here?
Not
at the moment, not online.
I don't know. Do we have time? Maybe
that was very clear, Akhilesh. Thank you so much, and good luck to you too.
Thank you.
So thanks to our 3 finalists, Leo, Pim, and Akhilesh, for their perfect pitches, enthusiastic pitches. It's now in the hands of our audience. You here live, our audience, and of course our audience at home. You can vote for the winner of the public award. It's on you. You have an important task, I think. So to vote, let's all do that. Grab your phone here in the audience. Very good. And go to www.menti.com. It's also on the screen if you want. And at home, of course, do that as well. And you enter the code 37899746. And if you see a QR code, you can also use that one at home or on the website. So the question is, of course, who do you think should win the public award of the Offshore Wind Innovators Award of 2021? And 1 is GBM Works, 2 is Jungle, and 3 is Spectex. So please start voting. We'll get back with the results later. Okay, so while you're voting, and while you're casting your vote, we'll have a look at the winner of last year's Offshore Wind Innovators Award. Let's take a look at Tetrahedron.
It's important that the offshore wind industry keeps reinventing itself by finding new solutions. And by doing that, you need a great community. A valuable part of that great community is Tetrahedron. They won the Offshore Wind Innovators Awards 2020. Let's have a look. Wilco, last year you won 2 awards with your company. What did receiving the award mean to you?
First of all, of course, for our team, it was a very good motivator. But second on that, we received an inquiry after winning the award, which is very good, obviously.
What kind of challenges did you face during the startup of the company?
First of all, we need to highlight here that this is a startup that is developing one product only, and the product is huge. So a crane cost is at least 10 million euros, and the combined height is higher than the Euromast, the highest tower in Rotterdam, right?
Yeah.
So bringing that to the customer and showing that the risk is low enough to get in that investment is quite a challenge. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I can imagine. And how did you come up with this idea?
Well, first actually it came with a demand of the industry. A company, General Electric, one of the leading firms in wind turbine generator manufacturing, they came up with a new model, the Haliade X, and that turbine is that insane high that there was really a demand for higher lifting wind turbine installation jackup vessels.
Yes.
So we had to reinvent something to provide a solution for that problem.
And that was this crane, right?
Yeah, so this is actually the invention of Tetrahedron.
Yeah.
First I will show you how a conventional crane works. So a conventional crane has a luffing boom, a boom like this, and it's rotating around the bottom forward part of the crane. So it rotates like this upwards. And the Tetrahedron crane has repositioned that location from the bottom forward location to the aft top location. And then if you rotate upwards, called luffing in crane industry, you will simply reach 50 meters higher.
What kind of reactions did you receive from the industry?
Well, a lot of energetic reactions from engineers. Engineers really like it, that this is a complete new crane, new technology, and still it's very simple. So we've got a lot of curiosity from engineers. That's nice. On the other hand, most important, of course, is the business. And we got inquiries for especially maintenance cranes and cranes that are applied in feeder logistics, because the crane is very suitable on a compact jackup vessel.
What are you working on at the moment with the team?
Well, our team is doing a lot of engineering work now on the design of Tetrahedron 8. It's a full-scale prototype which we will start building this summer.
And where do you see the company and the team in a couple of years?
We want to be a worldwide active crane supplier, specifically focused on the offshore wind industry.
And what are some important challenges this industry is facing at the moment?
Well, the offshore wind industry is very ambitious. It's growing fast. Of course, that's part of the energy transition. But the challenge is to do that in a smart way, without using too much new materials, and using the assets you have as efficiently as possible, and also keeping the installed turbines operational as long as possible and as efficiently as possible.
Would you also like to be a part of a community like-minded pioneers within the wind sector? Join via the next link.
And that was the winner of last year, Theta Hedon. What is your impression of them?
Yeah, very interesting company. What I find very interesting is to see that because we need to reduce the cost of offshore wind, that with the current cranes we just can't handle it. And you need those innovative companies who can act fast like them to find a solution. I think it's a really good example to show why we need them. And also very interesting to see that after that they get this inquiry. So yeah, very nice to see.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I think it's time to hand out the first award, the Jury Award, the Offshore Wind Innovator Award 2021. And Floris, of course, we heard from and about the jury. It's up to Glenn, of course, to relieve the pressure in this room in a moment. But first, what makes the jury this jury so important for this award, but also for stimulating innovation?
Yeah, good question. When I was recruiting startups for the Innovation Awards, a lot of founders, they asked me, okay, who is in the jury? And then I said, yeah, for example, Eneco's there, and they said that was already a reason for them to just to join this awards. Yeah. And so I think it's very important that companies like Eneco and organizations like TNO and investors like Innovation Quarter they support these awards because it's even valuable if you don't win. So yeah, thanks for that. Yeah.
I think so too. Well, Glenn, I think it's up to you now. We'd like to hear the findings from the jury, and even more important, we like to find out who won the much coveted Jury Award. Glenn, it's up to you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having the privilege to announce the winner as the chairman of the jury. It was, as always, a tough discussion within the jury to see or to say who's the winner of this year's Innovation Awards. There was a lot of discussions in the jury about who's going to win. We had it was easy to at least select the three nominees. That was the easiest one. Well, then the really discussion starts: who's going to win? So I have the privilege. The winner, I think, has shown in the last year that it has proven his technology, has tested severely in the last year, also shown a lot of cost predictions, gave insight to that, which we find very useful and very a value for winning this award. If they succeed, they can make definitely impact in the market. We're definitely looking forward to them if what they're going to do. So maybe you feel already who's going to win, but I'm definitely very excited to announce the winner. A little bit of advice for next year, at least focus on their entrepreneurship. But the winner this year is, I think most knows, is GBM Works. Congratulations.
GBM Works. Wow.
Maybe a few words?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for the jury. I feel that is a big accomplishment for a company that we got chosen from such a great selection of very good companies. And of course, I would like to thank the team because it's a team effort and we did this together. So thank you guys.
Congratulations. Well, of course, that's the first award we are giving away, of course, GBM. Well, what a great award to win here. But earlier, during our process, you voted, of course, for the public award. There's another award to give away. Let's find out who you think is the most innovative entrepreneur of 2021. You, of course, in the audience have voted. And Floris is standing at the table over there. You will do the honor. You will tell us who the winner of the Offshore Wind Innovators Award according to the audience is. And you got the envelope.
I've got him here, and I've got the envelope. Thank you, Maaike. No drum ruffles today.
I'll do it.
Okay, are you ready? It is Django! Is it, man?
Well, Pim, take it away.
Thanks. First of all, thanks to TKI Wind op Zee to organize this great event. Nice to be here. And of course, thanks to the audience and everybody at home to vote for us. Thanks a lot. Awesome.
Great, congratulations. We have our winner of the jury, we have a winner of the public award, and of course, we're so happy for you. Congratulations, all of you. Well, that's exciting. There's confetti in the studio everywhere. I think we're almost at the end. Let's wrap things up. Well, of course, we want to thank you all, but we're going to introduce a little agenda things, I think, Floris.
Yeah.
Because what's on TKI Wind op Zee's agenda for the coming months?
Yeah, we have several things which I find pretty interesting. So, the MOI scheme, maybe some of you know it. It's a scheme from the government to stimulate the energy transition. It closes. It opens the 1st of April, and it closes on April 19. So go to your bid team and write a nice proposal for that to foster the energy transition. Secondly. Of course, this is not the only TKI Wind op Zee we have. On May 17 or 16?
17.
May 17. We have the next one, and that will be about the optimal turbine size, because turbines are getting bigger and bigger, and what is the optimal size? And some other events which are pretty interesting to notice is the Wind Day on June 16. So please subscribe for that one. And the Blue Week, the day after the 16th, so the 17th of June. So hope to see you there.
I hope a lot of coming events.
Yeah.
And, we hope to see everybody there, of course. Well, I think we have great winners and a great nominee. Akhilesh, also you, congratulations, because you're on your perfect pitch, of course. A jury winner, we have a public winner. Congratulations, everybody. I have a last question for you, because on www.menti.com we want to ask you something. Again, also in the audience, also at home. Do you know a company that should win the Offshore Wind Innovators Award of 2022? So please grab your phone if you do and tell us, because of course we want to know. Glenn, what do you think? We have another public winner. What do you think about that?
It's great to have those two winners, and also Spectex. Congratulations with a nominee. But I think we have two great winners.
Yeah, perfect. Very exciting, of course. So please vote now. Tell us who you want a company that should win the Offshore Innovators Award of 2022. Everybody's very busy here. And keep smiling, guys, because this is your moment, your free moment. This is the exposure you have right now. Great job. You did a great job, of course. And after that question, if you, I see people typing in there. It's coming in. After that question, we have, of course, another question. We always do that. And that is, let us know your appreciation of this edition of the TKI Wind op Zee Live via Menti. Also, when you finish finished, of course, sending in York, the company that has to win the Offshore Wind Innovators Award of 2022. So that's our next question on www.menti.com. We are a little bit early today, which is good because we can enjoy the sun. This is outside, also great energy, of course. But I want to thank all of our guests here in the studio. A big applause for you. So great that we can do this live again. I really want to thank you, Floris. Thank you very much, Floris Blonk. Our great chairman of the jury, and of course all the two other members of the jury as well. Glenn Bijvoet. Thank you so much. I really want to thank you all for watching at home. Great that you were there and joining us online. I want to congratulate our jury award winner and our public award winner and our last nominee. Very good. A big applause. Congratulations. Good luck with all your innovativeness. Enjoy the victory, of course, and I hope to see you next time, maybe the 17th of May. Thank you very much.